The passion, Nate. The passion is overwhelming in this building. I think the roof is coming down soon. You are still watching WCS America Premier League Round of 8, and we are here in Burbank, California. It's been a fun day so far, hasn't it been?
It's been awesome. There's been lots of Terran. I know lots of people are excited about that.
There's going to be a lot more Terran as well. We have the potential of, at least one TVT series. We could be one in the final too.
I haven't seen a TVT final in a while.
Yeah, you are the only one, Nate. Either way, we're getting ready for our final series of the day, as today we are wrapping up the quarterfinals, and then tomorrow we'll continue with the semifinals and the final, which of course is going to be super duper awesome. But I'm also very excited for our next series. As you guys know, there's one player, well, two, but one in particular that we haven't seen yet today. The guy who forgot that you're supposed to type GG at the end of the game, as he just doesn't really ever do it. It's going to be Liquid's TaeJa, goes up against Pigbaby. Should be a very fun PvT series. And Clutch is on stage with our next two players.
Thank you, gentlemen. To my left, making his debut in WCS Premier League for America, he is Pigbaby. And to my right, a man that has not dropped a single map in over 20 games. He is the heir apparent. He is TaeJa. Gentlemen, congratulations on making it to the round of 8. Pigbaby, any words for your opponent before we begin?
두 선수 다 8강 올라오신 거 축하드리고요. 네, 마지막으로 윤영서 선수한테 한마디.
지금 연승 중으로 알고 있는데 오늘 그 연승을 제가 깨드리도록 하겠습니다.
I know that he's on a winning streak. I'll make sure that winning streak stops right here. And I won't let him tear me apart.
TaeJa, any words?
윤영서 선수 한마디.
Seriously?
Gentlemen, good luck and have fun. Back to the desk.
Oh, wow. The gauntlet has been dropped, Nate. Pigbaby says he's going to end the streak of TaeJa. All streaks do come to an end eventually, though.
That's true.
Unless he retires after this tournament, then I guess. Then it stays, but if that doesn't happen, then it's likely to end, at least in the upcoming future.
Pigbaby could certainly do it. We know he's a good player. We haven't seen him too much, but he showed really strong performances in the round of 32 and the round of 16. And I feel like he's probably, when you looked at all the players that were in the round of 32 from the very beginning, he didn't stand out as much as some of the other names. And I guess this is the part where we talk about players being eliminated, like Hero, Jadon.
Give those guys a break,
But really, he's not the player that a lot of people would have expected to make it this far when you looked at the results and the history of all the other people that were performing in this season of WCS America. And I think that's a cool story.
For the people who are missing out on a little inside fun, you know, during the regular broadcast of the round of 16, we always went over the round of 32 results as well. And after a few days, we noticed that we have always said the same thing, that we had a lot of upsets with Jadong and Hero dropping out. And on a certain point, we were like, man, those guys must feel awful if they ever watch the broadcast, because every single time they are being reminded that they did drop out in the round of 32. And now, even at the final 8 weekend, you can't give them a break, Nick. Shame on you. Either way, Nikki is ready once more at the social media desk to give us some updates about what's going on in the Twitter universe.
All right, hey guys, update on the mule count. We are now at 182. So if you think we're going to get to or beat 300, keep on talking to us at #WCS. Okay, and also don't forget, make sure you pick your favorite player tonight for the WCS Fantasy League. If you haven't already done so, you can go to fantasy.eslgaming.com to sign up. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow to see how you did. Good luck, have fun. Too bad I can't have Jimmy on my team. Speaking of Jimmy, if you have him, it goes without saying that you have to have Kerrigan. Okay? So to get Jimmy and Kerrigan and all things StarCraft, you can go to the Blizzard Gear store at gear.blizzard.com/WCS. Enter promo code WCS10OFF to get 10 off. All right, thanks. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Nikki. Well, I'm picking up my Kerrigan tonight, Nate.
I'm going to get one of those Banelings, man. I want the Baneling that turns into the Zergling. The crowd's with me on this one.
That's right. You know, we all like to cuddle with different things at night.
Touché.
Either way, we're getting ready for our final series of the day. Of course, the map videos are coming up. You know, something really cool. I just saw Naniwa tweet that he's actually really excited to watch Pigbaby play, and I think that's very cool. Of course, we haven't heard a whole lot about Nani lately, but he said he's excited. He said he always felt that Pigbaby was an excellent Protoss player, and it reminded him a little bit of SOS. Now, of course, SOS, the reigning champion of BlizzCon, the reigning champion of IEM World Finals as well, so one of the best Protoss players in the world. Pigbaby did make it to the GSL, or back then it was WCS Korea Finals once, or the Premier League, I should say. He made it to the round of 32, but then he got placed in a group with Parting and Sulky. Well, no shame in not making it out of a group with Parting and Sulky. So this is really his moment to shine. This is his one big opportunity to show the world what he's made of when he doesn't have to go up against Parting or Sulky. But then he goes up against TaeJa. The guy's not very lucky.
I don't think there's any player that has more momentum behind him right now in StarCraft than TaeJa. Had a clean sweep at DreamHack, and I mean, we can look at these map vetoes and try to discuss it, but I think the vetoes are pretty standard. We've seen TaeJa actually veto Frost before. Pigbaby vetoing Merry-Go-Round. It's definitely a Terran favored map in this matchup, but you need something beyond good maps to help you beat this guy.
Yeah, it's really funny how Merry-Go-Round is considered like a pretty good Terran map, because you normally would say like the wall of force fields around the base makes it a lot harder for Terran players to drop, but there's still quite a bit of surface area for Terran to drop in the main, and above all, it's so hard for Protoss to go up to 3 bases. So our first map will be played on Overgrove. Habitation is second. I believe King Sejong is third, and of course the 4th and 5th map are only played if necessary. Now I do hope so, Nate. We had one very close series at 3-2 between Bomber and Alicia. And then we had 2 3-0s, even though the games in the 3-0 series were definitely pretty close as well.
Yeah, I mean, all the games so far today have been really good. I think some certain upsets for sure. As many people might have said that a player like Hyun would be able to defeat Pult. I don't think too many people would have said a 3-0. I personally wouldn't have said that. I kind of wanted Hyun to win as much as I like TVT. I can't. You know, some Terran versus Zerg is good too, especially when you've got someone running a clinic on it like TaeJa over here.
Yeah, and it would be crazy to think that we could potentially see a Hyun versus TaeJa in the next round. That would, of course, be a crazy semifinal. And the other semifinal is crazy on paper as well. I mean, we all talk about TaeJa's momentum, and we should. I mean, anyone having a winning streak like that, that is worth mentioning. That's worth for us to talk a lot about. But what about Hart, man? Like, he too is carrying a lot of momentum. Like, I'm blown away by the StarCraft that Hart has shown us over the last few weeks.
Yeah, he's played really well, and one of the other things is I think Hart has always had a really good Terran versus Terran. I think back to one of the last times I saw him play a TVT live was at the Acer Team Story Cup Finals last year in December, and you know, he had a match against Innovation. You say, okay, well, Innovation's a player. Everybody knows that he's really good. He's got that GSL championship from last year. He's always played really well, but you know, Hart, he's a guy that can prepare very well for builds. He's a player that I think, with his mechanics that he's shown in the games that we had earlier, Bomber definitely has his work cut out for him. I don't think it's going to be quite as easy as he might have suggested.
Yeah, but Bomber is very confident. Bomber is actually already planning a Vegas trip with us after the weekend. He
That's
said
true.
If I win WCS, he's like, we're going Vegas on Monday and Tuesday. I'm like, okay, Bomber, it's on you, buddy. So, you know, that would be a lot of fun for us. So we sort of have our own personal side bet in this tournament. Anyways, of course, for now, all eyes are on Pigbaby versus TaeJa. First map is going to be played on Overgrove. Now, we did see Pigbaby play one time against Terran so far in WCS America. He actually went up against Axiom's Heart. He lost the series 1-2, and I also remember not being particularly impressed with the game. So kind of just like your TVPs, how you expect them without anything really cool happening. But there's one big but. Those games were played online. So Pigbaby was in Korea, Heart was in Korea. That is still very different than offline. And of course, you know, Pigbaby going up against Heart, especially Heart a few weeks ago, he probably felt a lot more pressure, like, I really have to win this series. This is my one big opportunity to win a lot of money. Well, now he already won a lot of money. He already got those WCS points. He already made the trip here. You could say that this series, there should be a lot less pressure on him, you know? Nothing to lose, everything to win.
Yeah, he has a lot to gain from defeating a player as monstrous as TaeJa, of course, who at this point with his current string, he could be eliminated here and still have a pretty much be guaranteed almost to get into WCS World Finals at BlizzCon later this year, as long as he just keeps playing in tournaments, because he's just been so on fire recently. And he's the guy that has, I guess you could say, if he could lose this game, it would kill a lot of his momentum. There's a lot of hype going around him. Of course, going 22-1 really isn't that bad in the grand scheme of things, but it'd sure be nice to be 22-0.
And there is definitely some pressure on TaeJa as well. As amazing as he has been in everything, so far things have not connected that well for him in WCS. And that's silly to say, because yes, he made it to semifinals. He even made it to the semifinals of a global finals last year, back then in Gamescom, where he lost actually against Bomber back then in a close series, if I recall correctly, 3-2. But he has never won a WCS championship, and you really expected him to do that at least multiple times. You know, last season or last year in season 3, things looked really good on paper for TaeJa, and then I think he lost even in the round of 16, which was pretty shocking. And also because of TVTs in the past, so there's definitely pressure on him as well. Everyone expects him to win WCS America. Everyone expects him to lift this trophy, and fortunately for him, not open a champagne bottle. But it's not that easy, Nate.
No, it is not that easy. He still has a long way to go. He's the favored player in this match against his Protoss opponent. In the bottom left, it is our Terran from Team Liquid, TaeJa. And his opponent in the top right, the former Jin Air Protoss player coming from Korea. It is Pigbaby.
And I'm still really not sure in which way to think of Pigbaby. You know, to think of him as how Naniwa said, maybe similar to SOS. I much more had a, I wouldn't go as far to say an Arthur feeling of Pigbaby, but you know, more in the line of Alicia. Every now and then a solid macro build, but also some craziness. You know, some shenanigans here and there. I'm not expecting Pigbaby to just like straight up open defensive macro style 5 games in a row like Rain or SOS style. Like, I don't really think that's going to be the case.
No, when you see players like this...
Or Zest.
Well, sometimes when you see players like this, you have to keep into consideration that there's not a lot of the games available. And TaeJa, he did a pretty conservative first few moves. Even the first couple of moves that TaeJa's made show that he's being kept a little bit honest by the, I guess you'd say, ambiguity of his opponent's history. He checked his main base for proxies. He put his supply depot in a spot to see if anything was being, aggressively positioned. And while Pigbaby isn't going for any variety of cheddar, TaeJa still has to keep his eyes open.
Yeah, I definitely think that TaeJa is a little bit worried as well. You know, Pigbaby, like we said, also another Protoss player that has played in a whole lot of foreign events. This is his first time in America. There's just not that much information out there. How much does he even talk about the game with the other Koreans? Like when they travel, they often travel in groups, and you know, some guys get along really well. Of course, you have like Paul and Violet being big buddies, and you have Jaedong being big buddies with all the other Koreans that used to be in EG, and then a few more. But you know, Pigbaby, so far he's been kind of on his own. Every now and then you see him exchanging some words, but he was mostly by himself. So I definitely think he's a mystery even to some of these Koreans.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what he can bring to the table. As you know, we've been constantly saying this, TaeJa hasn't dropped a map in series in a very long time. Probably one of the hottest streaks you've seen in a while. He can, with his SCV scout, confirm, okay, it's a 1-gate expand. And on a 2-player map like this, worker scouting, when you're going for a Reaper, shows that he definitely believes that little bit of information is worth lost mining time. Just to make sure Pigbaby's not doing anything crazy. Yeah,
there is a good chance that TaeJa will start playing a little bit more risky throughout the series, but then it will always be calculated risk, because that's of course the only way that you can be on a win streak as large as he is on. Every now and then you have to take some risk in this game, but he wants to eliminate it early on. He wants to make sure that he's not 0-1 behind against some silly Stargate proxy or something like that. So he scouts with the SCV, follows up with the Reaper, and sees that everything is very normal so far, as it was a 1-gate fast expand before any unit, and he follows it up with a Mothership Core.
Yeah, this is about as standard as it really gets out of Pigbaby so far. Nothing crazy. And he has enough resources to get his robot facility, so he starts it up immediately. And TaeJa, he's doing a pretty standard opening as well. We've seen a lot of this play, this faster, relatively fast engineering bay, but it's not quite that crazy 4-minute engineering bay where you see to get a fast +1 attack. So TaeJa even if he's not trying to get the fast upgrades, he wants to have access to a missile turret in case somehow, some way, an Oracle finds its way to his base.
Yeah, you know, rather be safe than sorry in game 1 of a best of 5 with this much on the line. That's a pretty quick +1, like you said. It's something that you see him do every now and then. It's definitely not like his default build order, I would say, but he does bust it out on a regular basis.
Yep, this Mothership Core is just going to patrol back and forth, making sure nothing crazy happens outside the natural as Warp Gate comes close to completing. So for TaeJa, you delay your stim a little bit to get this +1 attack out earlier, which is always nice to have, because if TaeJa wants, he can always try to position this game more towards mid-game aggression, where he pushes with +2 attack, and maybe if he can have that before +2 armor, it could give him a really big lead. But still, this Reaper being boxed away from that base, he has to use a scan, and he will see the robotics facility with the scan, which is very nice for TaeJa. You can start to cross things off of the list of problems that might occur in this game. He might be able to say, well, I guess I don't need a missile turret. If I want to get aggressive, I certainly can.
It's really interesting. TaeJa selects 4 or 5 Marines to go to the left top side of this map while he keeps the rest of the zone like a watchtower, which surprised me a little bit. I kind of wonder what the mission is.
There was someone else that did this and killed a Mothership Core recently, right?
Oh, yeah.
Was it TaeJa?
Yeah, I think it was in the round of 16, right?
He's like, oh, you didn't,
Was
because
TaeJa against
if you don't
Arthur?
open with Robo,
Yeah, it was TaeJa against Arthur on this map.
He actually did time out that a Mothership Core could be here.
Yeah, and Todd made fun of me again, as always. Damn French.
We know who was right in the end. Factory's on the way for TaeJa, and those Marines are not really in a position to get much done, but look at this, steps out, kills the Observer. They knew it was coming.
Yep. Another Observer on the way. 2 Forges being wiped in by Pigbaby. Now this gives us the idea. What is Pigbaby telling us? He's telling us that he wants to stay on 2 bases for a while. He's expecting an aggressive TaeJa, and of course going up to 3 bases against someone as good as TaeJa is really hard. So he's like, you know what, I'm going to stick on 2 bases for a while. It's a lot easier to defend 2 bases than 3. So I can get away with my double Forge, and I'm just going to play this passive with Blink Stalkers and with Colossus. Unless he decides to open up Charge, but that would be very surprising.
Yeah, I like that decision from him, though. TaeJa has shown to be one of those Terrans that, I mean, the Photon Overcharge does not strike much fear into his heart. He's willing to play very aggressively if you don't have a lot of units behind that base. So taking a third could really expose himself. And that Reaper runs in.
Does not see everything. Actually, only sees the Twilight.
He only sees the Twilight Council.
And I'm not even sure if he had time to click on it, because it was he had vision of that for like 0.1 second.
You know, if you're TaeJa, actually just going to run a couple. I guess if you're TaeJa, you're just going to run 6 Marines.
Gets a
focus down
sentry.
2 sentries and a few probes. Not bad, TaeJa.
Not bad at all for, what was it, 2 Marines, something similar like that. Excellent little poke there by TaeJa. Forces a Photon Overcharge, gets a probe, gets 2 sentries as well, and still has plenty of units to work with. If TaeJa follows this up with another just stim attack, he can straight up run into the natural Pigbaby, and if Pigbaby doesn't chrono boost the hell out of this Colossus, he could potentially die, because he made 4 observers. He already lost 1. He has 3 more. This is really scary, Nate. Look at that Colossus. It's only like 15 seconds in. Pigbaby could very well die against the next stim bio attack of TaeJa.
Actually make a great point. He has 5 observers on the map. That is...
And he lost 1 already, so that's a 6 observer
6
opening.
observers.
Well, that's definitely solid.
That is a lot of vision.
Yeah.
The first Colossus is going to be out soon, but you said it, Roddy. This force is moving over. Combat shield about to finish with +1 armor and concussive shells. But this, I guess the one nice thing about these observers is he sees the army coming.
Yeah, I may hope so after he made 6 observers. Would be really bad if he didn't, Nate. But yeah, he will have enough Zealots to soak up some damage and let the Colossus deal some damage. This is still annoying because there's only a single force field available, so he can't really trap bio units. He gets a few kills here and there with the Colossus and the Photon Overcharge. Gets actually quite some damage on the medevac. No, it's not gonna get it.
I like how many Zealots he was able to kill with that that step forward, though. He really abused that. There was no Colossus range upgrade finish. And TaeJa, he's not looking to do some sort of two-base all-in or what have you. His 3rd command center is almost done. He's getting his 4th and 5th barracks. His armory is about to complete. He has all the pieces in position to just play a straight-up macro game.
Pigbaby has a tremendous amount of workers for a 2-base Protoss, as he's currently sitting on 61 probes. That is officially 1 probe too much. Even if you want to maximally...
He's got a lot of saturation. I guess 1 probe goes out to build the pylons, so...
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly
He's
correct.
calculated. We have a lot of calculations from both of these players as to where things are.
Second starport going down in the main base of TaeJa as well, which is very smart, as so far there is no sign of the Protoss player switching into Storm, as he has been wasting quite a bit of gas. Of course, double forts, wiped in a bunch of sentries, working on Colossus and Thermal Lens and Blink Stalkers, all very gas intensive, and there is no way that you can also switch to High Templars then on 2 bases. So TaeJa is like, I'm gonna get a second starport, then I should have more than enough Vikings to deal with your build. And Pigbaby decides to fire up another observer because he really loves observers.
There are a lot of observers. TaeJa poking in from the left side. Oh, he's got an army on the right too. Nothing to buffer for this Colossus. TaeJa is going to step up and snipe this one Colossus, but is there too much firepower to get the second one?
Nope,
It looks like no.
Wow.
Solid hold from Pigbaby. He's still got that third Nexus on the way too.
I really thought he was going to be able to get it. TaeJa picked up most of those Marauders. Stim Marauders being that close to a Colossus will kill it the majority of the time. Taking a look, it's actually really remarkable that Pigbaby is not just straight up dying after producing 7 observers at the 13-minute mark.
Yeah.
Like, how on earth does he have enough units to protect his Colossus in the first place? This makes no sense.
This is my new strategy.
How does he even have
Lots of
Colossus, Nate?
observers.
They come from the same building.
Lots of observers. It's a good strategy. You know, TaeJa, interestingly enough, he's kind of known as one of those guys that's really good at killing these things.
Yeah,
So
well, he has
Pigbaby's really playing ball with them on this one.
He has his work cut out for him, man. Well, I hear a scan go down.
He's looking at that third base. He wants to see where the army is. I don't know if he has enough forces to just try to hit him from both sides. TaeJa kind of has to play this game out a little bit longer. He's going to load up some medevacs to go for a drop, clears the tower. But
I have an idea that Pigbaby is going to see it coming.
you think? Look at this string of observers. He's got vision for days.
He doesn't. What he doesn't have though is units in the main base, and that helps a little bit as well. He does have Blink Stalker, so it shouldn't take him that long to get there. He's gonna see the Manifex appear on his minimap right now. He's gonna blink perhaps forward, or he doesn't want to use Blink just yet. But he is going to warp in. That was a very smart warp in, because that warp in was not going to keep him safe, but would have bought him time regardless. But it's also him telling TaeJa, like, hey, I'm ready for this, while theoretically he wasn't really ready for it yet, as the units were a little bit out of position.
TaeJa's observer vision, man. He knows that thing is there. He's just taunting him by parking right next to it.
It's
like, you think I don't see you.
This just went into a stare-down contest instead of a StarCraft 2 match.
Oh, he unloaded.
And the Marauders are like, wish we could shoot up.
I won't be satisfied if he doesn't kill this observer. All right, well, TaeJa's +2 is finishing up during all of this, but +3 upgrades are actually very close for Pigbaby. But, I mean, his observers see everything. He's got so many of them.
Scan goes down at this third base. TaeJa's going to try to snipe it. He has a lot of Marauders, but Pigbaby is there. Man, Pigbaby is actually about to max out. This was like slow and steady wins the race up to 3 bases.
39 zealots.
I mean, yeah, he made a lot of observers with all that gas, so he had a lot of minerals to spend.
Got a lot of zealots to build.
Sick build, but built Pigbaby. I mean, like, honestly, he's done a really good job. He's about to have 3-3 finished up. He has 3 Colossus with Thermal Lens. He has plenty of High Templars as well. Meanwhile, Marine is being chased on the left side. That's an unfair fight.
This is sad life.
2 Archons being morphed in as well. He has Storm, correct? Or did he cancel Storm? No. Yeah, he started Storm, then he canceled it. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to try to win it without Storm. I'm just going to march across the map. And his army looks pretty terrifying, Nate.
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's so many zealots in this army. This is the stuff of Terran nightmares, because you are never going to get your bio close to those Stalkers or Colossi with this many zealots. He doesn't have any Widow Mines in this composition. There's no splash to help clean these up.
Those ghosts look very scary, though. Those ghosts could definitely do a lot of damage against all these Zealots, against all these Archons. EMPs are not really connecting yet. A lot of EMPs landing, but on the same Zealots are the Vikings. Where are the Vikings? Yeah, I guess it's going to be enough. Either way, tough call.
Yeah, TaeJa's getting time warp, though. Some of these Colossi hit from the left side. The bio is still alive, hiding at that third base. One Colossus alive for Pigbaby. Pigbaby's got a 40 supply lead. More warpins coming in from that close-by pylon. Is he going to take the first map win against TaeJa in almost a month? This third base is making it look like it will be so.
Yes, it is. Archon Zealots ravaging everything that TaeJa had over there. That Colossus surviving with 5 HP. Good blink there by the Stalkers, picking up all of the Zealots immediately. And TaeJa's supply only at 80 right now. What a sick call by Pigbaby to cancel Storm and go for the attack. And Pigbaby did what we almost thought wasn't possible anymore. And that is defeat TaeJa in a game of StarCraft 2.
A 1-0 lead.
What a build.
For Pigbaby. Man, what hair. His headset.
The good old 7 Observer opening into 39 Zealots.
I like it. Actually, I'm
Yeah.
really scared.
Into I'm going to research Storm, no wait, I should just attack and win, and he did it. Man,
That was...
I am really amazed by the fact that he was able to get away with that many observers. I mean, he did stay on 2 base for a long time, but that he had so many units. And look, the blinks as well. The blinks were perfect. Stalkers out of range of the Marauders. Focus fires, the Vikings, all one by one. Really, oh, look at that, even that small thing. No overkill. Like, normally you would just see 6 Stalkers shoot at a Viking with 12 HP or whatever. Instead, he's like, no, he focuses the other Viking and then leaves like the one Viking with 12 HP because he knows that the remaining shot of 1 Stalker will kill it. Small things like that. Actually, a very beautiful attack there by Pigbaby.
Yeah,
I even missed that in the first engagement. Really well done.
Incredibly well executed, and suddenly, Pigbaby took dominating control with that game. The next map is Habitation Station. I feel like the rush distance makes 7 observers a bit brave, but I don't know if I can doubt this guy anymore.
Me neither, man. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the ride. TaeJa is down 0-1. I wonder, do you think that does something with your confidence?
I think, you know, it's funny because Taze was actually telling me earlier, he's like, man, he's like, I don't know how I feel about playing against him. He's really good, and I don't like playing versus really good Protoss players, but I thought he was just joking. Pigbaby's a real deal.
He is.
All right, well, we are loaded in to map number 2 of our final game, our final match, excuse me, of the round of 8. In the top left, it's the blue Terran player from Team Liquid. It's TaeJa. 0-1 against the dark horse of this bracket. In the top right, the blue Protoss player. It is Pigbaby.
Pigbaby, also the last Protoss player alive in WCS America. Which is, you know, if you are Protoss, then you might want to cheer for Pigbaby. Yeah, we got some Protoss in the house.
Do you have any Terrans in the house? I like those cheers, Roddy. I guess there's lots of Terran then. Good reason to be here.
Yeah, exactly.
So this
But
map...
it's always a good reason to be in, Nate. It's StarCraft.
That's true. That's true. There we got to cheer for StarCraft. I guess someone in this crowd actually likes StarCraft.
I must say, like, I think our crowd has been awesome for multiple reasons. Like, you guys have been really loud, and that's super cool. But you're also not afraid to cheer for. I mean, I know we have a lot of Polt fans in the house, but even when Hyun took the series 3-0, you guys were awesome and really loud. I think that's very cool too.
Yeah, it's really something else. Cool. More of you guys should come down here. For that person that stayed home, you're like, no, I don't think it'd be that exciting. Well, you were wrong.
Yes. Feel bad about yourself. When you go to bed tonight, look at that ceiling and think, I could have been there. Yes, you should have been there.
And set your alarm to come here tomorrow. Pigbaby's going for a probe scout. TaeJa with a delayed gas opening. Of course, this isn't really the ideal map for Reapers. With the way that the natural is laid out, it's pretty easy to deny the scout in the later stage when you want to get that secondary scout on the tech that the Protoss player goes for. But TaeJa, he locks that probe in. It's like, no, you're not leaving.
And this is, you know, if there was one map out there where I expected TaeJa to open up with a quick factory, I kind of thought it was going to be this one. We all know that he loves opening up with crazy stuff on habitation stations. Sometimes it's Hellions and Marines, sometimes it's Widow Mines. I'm not too surprised by it, but what I am very curious about is to see how Pigbaby is going to handle what he has scouted so far.
Yeah, this is not really anything crazy. We saw this kind of opening very popular closer towards the start of Heart of the Swarm because it gave you a nice little bit of Marine production, but it also gave you access to a fast Widow Mine to defend against things like Oracle-based plays while also getting a quick expansion in. This SCV wants to block the expansion for Pigbaby. Oh, so you have a lot of worker combat in this game so far.
Yeah, man. Action-packed.
Those 2 Marines are actually moving across the map already. Man, these guys are brave. Is he?
Not sure what he wants to do with these 2 Marines. That's going to be a little bit tricky.
I don't know. These 2 guys.
I mean, like
these buddies. I don't know what exactly their plan is, but
I want to snipe a Nexus.
they'll be the 2 most brave Marines we've ever seen in StarCraft 2.
You know, like in the old days when you used to play like Command & Conquer, you had like 2 engineers run across the map and you just take that main building and you sell it.
I would, you know.
I was that guy. That felt great. He's just winning games in like 3 minutes. Like,
I learned the hard way that woodcutters in Age of Empires don't kill things very easily. But
I did not play that game. I'm sorry, Nate. Can't roll with the joke.
It's okay, I didn't play Command & Conquer. Nexus is going to be done soon for Pigbaby. Actually, the Nexus is timed out pretty much the same as this Command Center, but it is a factory follow-up.
I
Which
think that makes
I kind of expected with the way that he opened up. So there's still potential for fast Widow Mine play just off of 2 bases, and there is that Widow Mine as the starport kicks up as well.
Yeah, I really like the robotics facility being wiped in the back of the natural of Pigbaby as well. Makes perfect sense. Would be very risky to skip a robotics facility in this phase in the game after you scout a quick gas opening and you know the potential threat of Widow Mines is out there. You want to get access to those observers as soon as possible. And we all know Pigbaby has a thing for observers.
Yeah, he's got a pretty committed relationship when it comes to
Yes.
observers.
Yes,
It
is official on Facebook. Then you know it's real.
It's almost like he really wants to be like a commentator. Just get all the map vision, really. He has about as much vision as we do when you really think about it.
But he's also playing the game.
That takes the real skill. So the starport's done. We have a medevac on the way, and a scan from TaeJa doesn't really reveal all that much. We know it's a standard opening, but the robotics facility, not in a place where you'd normally be able to see it. So maybe TaeJa, as a Terran player, you'd think, okay, maybe I want to keep my Widow Mines at home. Let's build a bunker. Does he have something proxied out on the map? He should have more than just a single gateway by 7 minutes.
Yes, he should definitely have one tech building, and that is going to be, like we said before, the robotics facility. I think that TaeJa is expecting that as well. It would be very risky. This Robo Bay is pretty quick. It's not like the quickest Robo Bay I've ever seen, but it's relatively quick. And if there's one map where we could potentially see perhaps a 2-base Colossus timing, it could very well be on Habitation, because you know the rush distance by ground is not that far, and especially against this opening of TaeJa, it could be pretty good.
Yeah, I think that last crouch here too is for we're up to 3 observers now already, so we're racking that counter up. 4th observer on the way. I've never seen anyone more happy to see observers.
Who said the observer is not an exciting unit?
This little force wants to poke up into the natural expansion of Pigbaby. Of course, no stem. These Marines can't get too much done. But look at this. He just comes and he's like, yep, I'm going to kill some probes. And he focuses down on the medevac. It barely escapes.
Wow.
One more shot would have killed it.
TaeJa laughs in the face of danger. 40 probes left, so there's still a minor worker lead for Pigbaby, but it's not all that far. Pigbaby probably asking himself, he's like, man.
Oh, this medevac. Oh! Pigbaby swatting it down, and TaeJa, that's 10 supply down the drain for 6 workers. And look at this, 2 forges on the way once more. Pigbaby's like, yeah, man, I have no problem sitting in on 2 bases for quite some time. I'm nice and cozy here with my 7 observers.
He's taking Protoss to a whole new level. People used to complain about 2-base all-in. Try facing like 2-base, 7 observer, 200 supply.
No thanks.
Into macro game.
Into 40 zealots. So one of these observers makes their way to the natural. And you can see, okay, the army's positioned in a reasonable spot. He's not out on the map just yet. He sees 2 engineering bays, which says, Terran player, your upgrades are going to be late. The 2-2 will come at a nice time. But this is actually not so bad for Pigbaby, even if he's matched on upgrades, because I feel like for a Protoss player especially, if those Marines can't kill those Zealots that fast, that's really what you want. And especially because you have Chrono Boost, your upgrades will come in faster.
I've asked you this question before, Nate, but I'm going to ask it again. Don't you? There's another observer on the production tab as well. We are aware of this. I feel like this is almost the point where we should stop talking about observers. All right, sorry guys, we'll keep talking about it.
They're going to bring out the pitchforks.
First time ever people are sad to see a Colossus in production. But you know, Nate, what I want to ask you, like all jokes aside, once again we see the 4th and 5th racks being added before the 3rd command center from TaeJa. If you are TaeJa and you're playing against a Protoss who plays this passive with this many observers and all those forges, don't you think it would be better to go up to 3 bases before you add racks number 4 and 5?
I don't think it'd be a bad idea, but I feel like TaeJa still has to keep in mind that how much do you really know about your opponent? Yeah, he played that style on that last map, but can you be so certain he'll play the same way a 2nd game in a row? Maybe this is the time where he, instead of getting those forges, just cranks out really fast Colossi and goes for a big attack.
Yeah, that's true. TaeJa actually didn't have the information that we had. He didn't see the forges, and he didn't see the Twilight yet. So
I like these really spread out Marines around the map. They want to be observers, but they're not quite there. Not yet.
Well, when the mine should get picked off over here.
Oh, 2 sentry kill.
Wow. A little sloppy there by Pigbaby. Sentries do not have the same range as Stalkers. We just learned.
Well, the armory's coming close. That third command center is done,
Wow,
but
that's actually
1-1 is
really
complete
huge,
for
though.
Pigbaby.
I mean, scan goes down, observer will get picked off. I'm sure it will be replaced, guys. Don't worry. But you know, Nate, all jokes aside, that one sentry or that one Widowmine killing 2 sentries, that is pretty huge because Pigbaby stays on 2 bases for a very long time. So not having that additional 5th and 6th assimilator running, you cannot afford to lose 200 gas like that.
Yeah.
And playing this style that he's doing without sentries is also not going to work because then observers are just going to run in and stand on top of your Colossus.
Those were the only 2 observers, only 2 sentries he had. I can't get observers off my mind. He's coming up towards his third base, and an observer sees this. But Pigbaby, without a lot of force fields, he can't. There's not much he can do to move this army around. He has to rely on these 3 Colossi, and they seem to be enough.
There is a drop going in the main base now as well. TaeJa just one spread him thin, but there are stalkers. Wow, what a great interception by Pigbaby. Sweet Jesus. I mean, the Marauders are still doing some work, but in the end of the day, this was 2 medevacs full of bio units for like 2 or 3 stalkers. So I think that Pigbaby is more than pleased with that trade. And that could have gone so much worse, because imagine if those medevacs would have flown in from the north side and like would have unloaded behind the mineral lines. Then again, Pigbaby probably saw it coming.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you can do with less units than you normally should have in a lot of observers. He still has 3 on the map, so good vision for Pigbaby.
He's gonna make one after this Colossus. Like,
And we talked about how the 1-1 was close for both of these players.
I
TaeJa's +2 is way later than Pigbaby's, and I'm scared when that 3-3 comes up, those 3-3 charge lots.
Yeah, Chrono Boost is a beautiful thing. We do see 4 Vikings being produced at the same time, so that is definitely going to help TaeJa a little bit. I wouldn't be too surprised, considering once more how late this 5th and 6th gas is for Pigbaby, to see a big SCV pool from TaeJa, you know? Just try to max out as soon as possible and have an overwhelming amount of Vikings, right-click on the Colossus, and then just try to win. It is very risky. We see the Ghost Academy go down, but it could still be the same thing with just 1 or 2 ghosts in the mix, or maybe 3.
Yeah, it's really tricky, because if you SCV pull into Superior, upgrade it with a lot of Zealots, like those Zealots are going to tank the damage anyway, but...
I feel like as long as there's no Storm, it's going to be very hard. Or like either Storm or a really good Force Field / Guardian Shield. Oh, an Observer is about to die. No. TaeJa has found the answer to Pigbaby. Missile turrets all around the map.
my one weakness.
I mean, I agree with you. Zealots with 3-3 are scary, but in the end of the day, Zealots don't really deal the damage. And if you have Vikings to kill the Colossus and there is no Storm, I really see a serious window of opportunity for TaeJa to perhaps strike before Pigbaby is ever going to get gas. Because even now, Pigbaby did not take his 5th and 6th assimilator. Like, he's playing a very unique style of Protoss over here. I've not seen this, Nate.
Yeah, he's going completely Sandstorm, not looking to get that
What's
AoE
this
damage
song?
from anything except from Colossi, and there's a lot of them.
Colossus Zealot.
Colossus Zealot, new meta.
And Observers.
And Observers. Colossus Zealot Observer. The most powerful army composition. He comes in. These Zealots
Oh my
charging in.
God.
+3 is not yet done for Pigbaby. This is actually the best upgrade setup TaeJa is going to have to take a fight in, but it's a bad position.
Yeah, it's a really bad position, and there are so many freaking Zealots as well. Look at this. TaeJa's going to have to kite for days. TaeJa does have a lot of Rexes thrown down there, and he has a lot of money as well. So look at the production tab. Like a Ghost, Marines, Marauders, and 4 Vikings are all on the way. And +2 armor is about to finish up. Pigbaby with a very big warp in the main base of this Warp Prism. He warps in like 10 Zealots with 3-3 upgrades. My God.
Oh man, this is not
Oh
a fun
my God.
place to be for TaeJa. You mean trying to stim through Time Warp is, you know, sometimes it feels like a good idea, but it rarely works out. And his production being camped, still producing 4 Ghosts, 4
Needs to
Vikings,
lift
but
the
the Stalkers
orbital.
blink forward, picking off some of these Vikings, and there's so many Colossi on the map still.
Look at the Stalker positioning again. All of these Vikings are going to fall. The Zealots did die, but it's easy to replace Zealots as long as you have a pylon somewhere on this side of the map. Does he have a pylon, Nate?
This kiting from these Colossi is good enough so far. The the pylon, the warp in does complete. 1 Colossus down. Not going to kill a second, but no, 2-0 for Pigbaby so far.
Wow. If you talk about surprises, this is the biggest one that I've seen so far. Pigbaby bringing a very unique style of Protoss to the table. You can see he's getting really pumped as well. He's like, yeah, Observers, baby.
Observers. Invest. Stocks and Observers going up.
Yeah.
And TaeJa, what do you do at this point? Nothing he's tried so far has worked at all.
I mean, like, if TaeJa's not out on the map, then I really think we're looking at a different fight. If he has time to set up a little bit more defensively and, like, actually let the production kick in, because he was just 30 seconds away from maxing out. Either way, with the score being 2-0, as surprising as this is, we're going to throw this over to two small play pieces we made of Pigbaby and TaeJa, because we thought, you know, this could very well be the only thing that we see of Pigbaby this weekend, but he's already proven us wrong, Nate. But let's just take a look at these two small videos and see what the players have to say.
TaeJa, he doesn't lose. Wings that want to attack this army, and TaeJa is going to move on.
WCS is important to me because there are 3 times in a year. I choose America because I don't know.
He's getting everything he can to hold
This
this.
is actually a really good position now for Pigbaby.
Pigbaby's Colossi are doing some work.
He will make it all the way to the round of 8.
제 선수 프로필을 설명해 드리자면 8게임단의 브루드워 연습생으로부터 시작했고 지네어 그리닝스에 있다가 출전 기회를 많이 못 잡아서 지금은 현재 혼자서 하고 있습니다. 이번 WCS 16강을 계기로 해서 더 높게 올라가서 저라는 선수를 알리고 팀도 구하고 많은 팬들도 구하고 싶습니다. 제가 우승을 하면 일단 한국에 돌아가서 가족들과 맛있는 거를 사주겠습니다.
Welcome back to WCS America Premier League round of 8. It's been a very long day of StarCraft so far. We thought, you know, this last series could be a quick one, but not in this way.
No. TaeJa, we've actually run out of trying to come up with nicknames for how good this guy is, and suddenly he's on the wrong end of a 2-0 and potentially about to get eliminated here. One map away.
Against the play that we knew the least of coming into the round of 16 even. Like, even, you know, the Chinese guys that came over, we know them pretty well. We cast them a lot. We've seen them a lot. They have their own little scene. Pigbaby really haven't seen all that much of. Yes, he made it to WCS Korea Season 3 last year. He made it to round of 32, and that is a very impressive achievements on its own. But he didn't make it out of his group. He was in a group with Sulky and Parting, perhaps the best Protoss, best Zerg player back then in the world. So we didn't know that much about him, but now he's here, Nate, and he's giving us a performance to remember.
Yes, he is. He's our blue Protoss. It is Pigbaby. And his opponent, who needs to win 3 games in a row. The red Terran player from Team Liquid. He is TaeJa.
This is the coolest crowd, Nate.
This is awesome.
Man.
And these people really like observers, too.
You know, we've been like commentating StarCraft tournaments for years right now, traveling all around the world, but I've never seen people get so excited over observers. You guys are awesome.
Crowd is hyped. And TaeJa's going to need to beat 2 if he wants to win 3 games in a row. We've clearly seen that Pigbaby is a very high-level player, and TaeJa's decided to bust out the old gas first.
Man, I'm like just like trying to wrap my brain around what we are witnessing, you know, because it's all fun and games, but TaeJa's actually down 0-2 in this series.
Can't believe it. This is that part where you message your friend, you're like, yo, you got to come watch this series.
Yes.
TaeJa's down 2, and the person's like, good one.
Against who? Yeah, sure. What's happening, and then you tell your friend that the guy's making a lot of observers, and then he really doesn't believe you.
You know, the thing is, when you talk to good Protoss players and you say, yeah, open 5 observers PVT, they laugh at you.
Yeah, no, the funny thing is, like, I used to like to open up with Charge and Storm before the Widow Mine got the buff, and I used to open up with 3 observers, and I already thought that I was pushing the limit, you know. I was like, I don't have that many units, but with Photon Overcharge, I can hang in there. And Pigbaby is just showing me that I was doing it wrong, Nate.
Yeah, I think if our friend Letud were still here, he'd be blown away.
Yeah, Todd would be losing his mind right now. Todd is probably losing his mind.
Yeah. So the nice thing is this probe comes in and scouts what TaeJa's doing.
Quickest factory possible.
I really like if this probe can stick around as long as possible, because we've seen it's almost like a weird shift in how people are playing this, because we saw it out of Bomber as well earlier today. You open gas first. you get a factory, and then you just don't do anything with it. You don't go for a starport. You just get a fast reactor on your barracks and one Widow Mine, and that's it. Then you play macro, and you hope that the Protoss player invests into very fast robotics facility and warp gate, which, I mean, for all intents and purposes, seems to be what Pigbaby was going to do anyway.
Yeah, we actually, didn't we ask Bomber about that, like last week when we were driving back to the hub? No, I think that Todd asked Bomber about the build, and then Bomber's like, yeah, that's my build.
Yeah,
Todd is like,
I
oh,
was
sorry.
asking him, I'm like, man, I like to mine drop, but you just don't go all the way with it. He's like, no. It's like, make Protoss overcommit defense. I was like, okay.
It's like a mix between both. If they want to be aggressive to you, then the Terran is okay, and at the same time, you hope that the Protoss freaks out a little bit, but you know, so far I don't have the feeling that Pigbaby is a Protoss player that freaks out very quickly.
Yeah, this is a really cool situation because the coming up of builds like the one that we were just discussing, where you just don't get aggressive, makes this the fact that TaeJa is opening up with this fast starport, with this Widow Mine, with this Hellion follow-up. It really makes it harder to predict because as Pigbaby, you say, well, maybe he was counting on me not scouting him, and now he's just going to play defensively. So you have to really be able to balance out well how much you commit to a defense.
There are definitely mind games.
The Observer Factory's on the way.
Yeah, let's just rename it. You know, there are definitely a lot of mind games involved. But so far, you know, if you look at Pigbaby's openings, you know, what do we expect him to build out of the robotics facility? Well, you know, probably a bunch of observers. And if he just adds 2 more gateways, then with the 3 gate and the mothership core and access to observers, he should be more than fine. But we'll see. It's important that he has units in the right place. This is a pretty risky opening, by the way, from TaeJa. Of course, you know, this is not an opening that's going to straight up lose him the game, unless there would be a hidden pylon on the other side of the map. But still, if he doesn't deal any damage now, Nate,
yeah, it's going to be tricky.
he needs to really do something with this opening. Otherwise, he falls pretty far behind economically.
Yeah, the 2 Hellions and the SCV at the natural, of
Stalkers.
course. You know, we've seen players try to build bunkers with this. He's going to drop on the ramp. I mean, it's out of range
It's
of
the
the
Nate
Photon
build.
Overcharge. Yeah, man, this
is
all
you.
I do all day, every day, dropping Widow Mines. This probe tries to bait out the shot, not able to get it. The Marines want to fight the Stalkers, while the Hellions go for the probes. The Photon Overcharge in the natural will keep him out of there, but, you know, solid hold from Pigbaby so far. He hasn't really lost too much.
Beautiful micro on the Stalkers. He got the Hellions. He's not really taking a whole lot of damage, like you said. Still, all of his Stalkers are alive. Beautiful micro by Pigbaby. It was very easy to mess that up. Oh, TaeJa.
Saves the Widow Mine, which is nice.
But how many probes did he lose? Okay, he lost 4 probes throughout the game, and I feel like 2 of them were actually against this Widow Mine.
But for how much it delays your natural expansion, that,
exactly.
that makes things really difficult.
Look at the work count right now. It's 36 probes against 28 SCVs for TaeJa. The command center is not even on location yet. It's not even an orbital command yet. The observer train is rolling. I think that things are going pretty good for Pigbaby.
Yeah, he's got his 4th one on the way.
This guy, man.
There are some really hyped people in the crowd for these observers.
Yeah. It's all that Red Bull that gets you going.
Everybody's hyped up. So TaeJa, at this point, you got to just switch in, get your extra 2 barracks, get some tech labs rolling, get your stim and combat shield, but you lose all of your mid-game aggressive capabilities. So Pigbaby, this is actually one of those scenarios where
freedom.
he doesn't even need to go for the forges. He could take a fast 3rd Nexus. He has a lot of options, and this Immortal... That's not an observer. Oh, he cancels it. Did he misclick? He misclicked on the observer button.
I'm sure he knows the hotkey. If anyone ever knows the hotkey. Yeah, I'm really surprised to see that observer. Perhaps that Immortal. Perhaps he was freaked out about a crazy bet.
Yeah! The observatory is rolling again.
It's because he lost one. I think TaeJa scanned in the main base and he picked up an observer. And Pigbaby was like, hey, I don't roll with anything less than 4.
That's not me.
That's not me.
This medevac's going to try to drop some Widow Mines. He'll need an observer to help deflect this, and, well, the Stalkers aren't even going to let these Widow Mines land. Solid defense from Pigbaby.
There are 6 Stalkers on the map, but yet Pigbaby feels incredibly safe. We once more see the Colossus, the Forge, and or the Twilight, and double Forge as well. He's setting himself up very solid.
You can't go anywhere without being seen. Oh, man. Like TaeJa thinks, he's like, okay, these Stalkers aren't right there. Maybe I can swoop in. It's like, no, he's been looking at you the whole entire time, TaeJa.
Big difference though, Nate. This game, Pigbaby is going up to 3 bases so much quicker than he did in any of the previous games. Now this of course does expose him a little bit more. Yes, he will see the attacks coming, but he still needs the right amount of units to defend with it, or to defend against it. Stim is very late though, but perhaps TaeJa is able to find a window of opportunity over here to somehow hurt Pigbaby.
Yeah,
because if he doesn't, then he's going to be so far behind economically that it's not even funny. Right now it's 58 probes against 40 SCVs. Well, this guy built nothing but probes and observers, and he's always ahead.
Yeah, the thing is, he doesn't have those upgrades like you mentioned. +1's getting close. Concussive Shell will be the only one complete if he decides to poke, but if he waits for Stim, there should be 2 Colossi out, and then with a couple sentries and these cannons that are finishing up, putting on any type of pressure gets a lot harder. I mean, why even build Widow Mines versus someone with this many observers?
I don't know. We see Widow Mines go. I mean, like, outside of Photon Overcharge, Pigbaby's army is a little bit vulnerable because right now he doesn't really have any good upgrades going. He doesn't have Charge or Storm. He has to be careful because he can't expose himself too much, but he has such a good economy for an 11-minute Protoss. He can almost do whatever he likes right now. He has 200 energy on his Mothership core as well.
Yeah, these Widow Mines actually doing a good job at helping to clean up these Zealots. I actually think he doesn't have an observer with his army. They're everywhere except where this fight is happening right now.
Yeah, and he even sees, wow, he's about to wipe in 5 gateways. This base, however, is very exposed, and TaeJa's doing what he does best. He does find openings, goes for the Colossus instead. He's gonna get it. Yes, he gets the first one.
Nice pickoff. He will lose the majority of his other forces. If he can kill the second Colossus, that'd be a nice pickup for TaeJa. He's not giving up just yet. More units continuing to move in. Okay, now the observer sees he's able to kill the Widow Mine, but still picks off a sentry, gets some Stalker damage, and TaeJa, he is clawing his way back into this series.
That was pretty good, but TaeJa needs to do still a tiny bit more than that. He is still down 10 workers, he's still down a base, and he doesn't really have fantastic tech going for himself either. Soon Pigbaby will have access to 5 more gateways. That's gonna bring him up to 10 gates and a Robo and double Forge. TaeJa cannot compete with that. He needs to do crazy amounts of damage right now.
And this extra Colossus coming out really, really helping to defend. Pigbaby's 1-1 is about to complete. His charge is on the way. And you said it, that 3 base, like, as much damage as you can do, Pigbaby's 3 bases will immediately bring him back into this once all those gateways finish. He's trying to snipe another Colossus. Zealots warping in. Colossus steps on top of these Marauders. Another pickoff for TaeJa. He's doing everything humanly possible to try to get back in this game.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job in resetting this Colossus count over and over, which of course means that Pigbaby can't produce any additional observers either. And that makes him really sad.
Yeah, another Stalker. Oh, kills that. But he's brought some Vikings forward. There's actually very little anti-air with this army.
Mothership core is going to die as well. That is a beautiful pickoff for TaeJa, because that perhaps allows him to drop a little bit later. This army of Pigbaby is still not extremely strong in a straight-up engagement. Other than the Colossus, nothing really deals damage. Look at the Vikings getting a lot of free shots off.
Yeah, with no charge, these Marauders are surprisingly effective against the Zealots.
Is really sick right now.
But TaeJa's also heavily overstimmed his forces. He has very little energy on his medevac, so he needs to step back. He needs to get something else going for him at this point. And 3 probes still being built at the time for Pigbaby. He still feels comfortable replenishing that economy, situating himself at that 3rd base, and even starting to take some of the gases.
Yeah, he lost a few more probes, of course, but he was still in a good economic position. It was all about hanging in there. I think TaeJa microed very well for a while there, and resetting the Colossus count is extremely important, because that allows him to still be aggressive in the next 2 minutes in this game. If there would have been 3-4 Colossus now, then it's very comfortable for Pigbaby to just split up his army, because he knows that, you know, no man in his right mind is going to stim into 4 Colossus.
No, I'd have to agree with you on that one, Kev. +2 is finishing up for Pigbaby, and +2 attack has only just started for TaeJa, so this should be a nice, lasting upgrade advantage for the Protoss player, who, going by his track record in this series, is going to go right for 3-3 afterwards.
Man, 3 more Rexes on the way for TaeJa. His tournament life is on the line. If TaeJa loses this game, he is out. And once again, he will not win WCS America. And every season, he comes in as the overwhelming favorite. And every season, everyone is like, this is TaeJa's season. He's never been hotter, I think, than he currently is. But right now, Nate, he's definitely on the ropes.
Yeah, that's really the only way to put it. There's not many things that have been going right for TaeJa in this series, no matter how well he's played, but he's got his 3rd base set up. The 3-3 actually got started and then canceled.
Yeah,
so Pigbaby is feeling a little bit worried, He's only got 3 observers out on the map.
Then he's definitely feeling worried. His Templar Archives is about to finish up, and I think that's like one of the first time. Well, he made it before. He never actually researched Storm. He just used it for Archons back then. We'll see what he's going to do this time.
Yeah, still just Archons. He has 25 Zealots as well, so still a lot of tanking force behind these Colossi.
He has so many gateways. I wouldn't be surprised to see, for instance, if TaeJa wouldn't have done such a good job in resetting the Colossus count, then Pigbaby would have already been active with Warp Prisms, and that would have been a nightmare to deal with, because Pigbaby has so many gates, he would be able to warp in Zealots everywhere.
Yeah, but TaeJa seems to have gotten a good grip on the way his opponent likes to play. He's moving up. He only has 9 Vikings versus 3 Colossi. It's not bad, but he's going to take this fight. Stepping back, Guardian
awkward
Shield
fight.
pop. The Bio's allowed to spread out okay-ish. The Stalkers going after these Vikings. There's still 1 full health Colossus, and even with that, with these many Zealots, TaeJa's going to get pushed back once again. Potentially his life, his tournament life on the line, running back to his natural expansion. 5 Marauders, 6 Marines at a time. But, Roddy, is it enough?
I really don't know what we're watching, Nate. The pylons are pretty far off, so it's going to take a little while before Pigbaby is able to reinforce this army. TaeJa throws down the scan and is asking himself, can I take this army? Well, maybe if I pull all my SCVs, or at least a bunch of them, sniping that pylon is really going to help him, making it harder for Pigbaby to reinforce. Will the Vikings kill the Colossus in time?
I don't know if it matters. Another one's coming up. Archons versus SCVs. It's not a fair fight. Pigbaby's pushing TaeJa, who's naturally up 60 supply. The Terran on the ropes, on the run, and Pigbaby marching forward. He's gained a lot of fans with this observer play here at this tournament, and he has moved on to the Final Four of WCS America Premier League.
Wow, the upsets of all upsets. Pigbaby, the most unknown player going into WCS America round of 16 and even the round of 8, takes out the hardest player on earth right now. TaeJa, who almost forgot what losing felt like. Well, Pigbaby said he was going to end the streak or something like that in the previous nights. Well, amazing, absolutely amazing. I cannot believe what we just seen, Nate. Really unique, distinctive playstyle as well by Pigbaby, and he made it work. He played with no fear, played with a lot of confidence in his play. It was awesome to watch. I really enjoyed myself, and shocking. I almost lost for words. I really did. I did not anticipate like this phase of the broadcast.
No.
That we had to talk about TaeJa's defeat. Like every now and then, you know, you prepare a speech. This is not a speech that I prepared.
Yeah, I mean, TaeJa is that guy just flying down the road. You know, he was looking so good, passing everybody by, and then suddenly Pigbaby just shows up as a brick wall. He's like, I'm here. It's like, I'm here to stay, man. That was brutal loss for TaeJa to go out like that 3-0. I'm really excited to hear what he has to say at this point. Let's just hear it. Josh is on stage. Pigbaby, see it.
Pigbaby joining us for the first time from the Challenger League, continuing on the Royal Road. Can anybody stop you?
로열 로드로서 이번 WCS 아메리카에 참가하게 되셨는데 윤영서 선수까지 꺾고 앞으로 뭐 누가 막을 수 있을지 누가 막을 수 있을까요?
북미에서 가장 잘한다고 생각하는 선수가 윤영서 선수였기 때문에 저를 막을 사람은 이제 없어진 것 같아요.
In WCS America region, I always thought TaeJa was the strongest player overall in the entire region. So now that I've beaten TaeJa, I don't think there's anybody left for the challenge.
This crowd was going nuts for every observer that you created. We want to know, how do you personally feel about the observer?
이제 양희 선수가 관측선을 뽑으실 때마다 여기 이제 현장에 온 사람들이 정신줄을 놓고 약방것처럼 이제 환호를 질렀는데 관측선에 대한 딱히 뭐 애착이 있든지 아니면 관측선에 대한 생각?
일단 가격이 프로토스 유닛 중에서 제일 싸기 때문에 많이 뽑아도 손해는 아니라 생각하고 그냥 싸서 많이 뽑았어요.
Observer is probably the cheapest unit in StarCraft 2 for Protoss. So I thought it's not in any disadvantage to make bunch.
Pigbaby, you and I got to speak a little bit more about where you were in your career. And you said in this tournament you want to evolve from Pigbaby into a boar. After this match, do you feel like a boar?
이제 16강 때 이제 인터뷰 때 말씀하셨던 것처럼 이제 멧돼지로 진화를 하고 있는 과정이라 그러셨는데 이제 윤영서 선수까지 이제 잡으시고 이제 멧돼지로 벌써 진화를 했다고 생각하시는지 아니면 아직 진화 중이라고 생각하시는지.
아직 4강이랑 결승이 남았기 때문에 우승을 하고 완벽하게 진화하도록 하겠습니다.
I still got semifinals and the finals to take care of. Once that's over and done, I'll be the boar then.
Finally, Pigbaby, anything you'd like to say to your fans?
마지막으로 응원해주신 팬들에게 한마디.
이번에 처음으로 북미 참가하게 됐는데 많이 응원 안 해주실 줄 알았는데 많이 응원해 주셔서 너무 고맙고 더 열심히 하도록 하겠습니다.
So my first time appearing on WCS America. So I didn't think I'd get any cheers from the crowd. It's very refreshing and I love it. Please keep up the loud cheers and the support, and thank you.
Give it up for the Kingslayer, Pigbaby. Congratulations once again. We'll see you tomorrow at the semifinals. Back to the desk.
Thank you very much, Josh, and of course, congratulations to Pigbaby for an awesome performance. It's been an awesome day with a lot of good games and definitely upsets. And I must say, Nate, in the end, we're making fun of it in the start of this final series, but Naniva did kind of call it. So the Lucchese still has it.
You know what? This has been, I'd say, a couple of really surprising results for almost all the matches that we've had today. Hyun sweeping, Pigbaby sweeping. These are players we thought, okay, they're good enough to win, but it should be close. It should have been closer than this. And I don't know. I'm lost for words. I'm really excited to see how he shapes up against Hyun and how Hart faces up against Bomber in tomorrow's games.
Well, you know what we always say, Nate, at the end of a cast, we always hope that something memorable happened, and I think definitely today was a memorable day. We had a lot of fun, and let's just go over the results one more time, as we had 4 amazing quarterfinals being played in WCS America Premier League, round of 8, Season 2. Hart defeated Violet in a 3-0 series, where he just looked as the same Hart in the round of 32 and in the round of 16 as a man on fire. Hart, in my opinion, playing the best StarCraft of his career. He is going up against Bomber tomorrow, the Terran player that's been living with me right now for like 12 days. Bomber is very confident going into that series. I think it's impossible to call.
Yeah, that's going to be, I think, probably one of the highlight matches for tomorrow. We haven't seen a crazy amount of TVT these days, and this will be the only one that we're going to get. A lot of people said we should have 4 Terran players advancing, but Hyun played phenomenally well against Paul, really on another level with how well he predicted his strategies. And Pigbaby, I don't know how to describe. That's some new age Protoss shenanigans going on there.
It really is. It's always fun to see people bring a unique playstyle to the table, and every now and then, as much as I love Protoss, as I'm a Protoss player myself, I do feel it's really hard to switch things up as Protoss. I kind of feel like in general there are guidelines you have to follow. Well, Pigbaby shows us that you can still do whatever you want, and if you want to open up with 7 observers and 39 zealots, you can do that, and you too can defeat TaeJa.
I mean, I'm learning how to play Protoss. That's gonna be my go-to build: 7 observers. That's the way it is now, guys.
Actually, just gonna try. This should be like a fun day Monday, day 9. How many observers can you make and still win the game? Come on, Sean. We want this from you.
I'm excited to see that.
All right. Of course, there's more StarCraft happening all around the world, as in just, let's say, I don't know how many hours. Let's just take a look at how many hours exactly it is until the next EU broadcast, as WCS Europe Season 2 concludes tomorrow as well, where they will be crowning a new champion, because MC did lose today. Sorry if I spoiled that, but, well, now you have it.
You know what? All I know is a Terran player won. I'll be tuning in for that.
There are Terran players alive. Actually, all 3 races are still represented in Europe, and the same can be said for America. So, there is balance after all, Nate. There is peace in the StarCraft universe.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited either way. Of course, I'm really excited to see which one of our Terran players can get to the final for America tomorrow. And yeah, it's been an awesome day, and I have to give another big shout out to our awesome crowd and all the crazy people on the internet that tuned in.
Yeah. Whoa. Big round of applause for yourself. Of course, shout out to QXC as well for joining us at the desk. Big shout out to our dedicated observer, Flo, for being awesome as always. Oh, look. All right.
It's good vibes.
Observer. Oh, okay. Well, it's been a long day, guys. It's been a really long day. So that's it for us. And for the final words, we're going to throw it over to Josh and see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let's hear it for the crowd one more time. You guys have been fantastic. Thanks for coming out. Let's hear it for QXC joining us this weekend. Nikki B, what was the final count for Mules today?
We ended at 224. So if you thought under 300, then you're StarCraft Pro.
Well done, well done. Maybe tomorrow the question will be how many observers. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. All right, to the players that unfortunately will not be with us tomorrow, best of luck next season. And to the winners, we'll see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock for the semifinals and the finals. Until then, enjoy WCS Europe right when you wake up. Twitch.tv/WCS_Europe. Good night and good game.